I'm just sitting here having a little moment.
This is my wife Lucy, who's currently running the length of New Zealand, and things are not going to plan. Months before this, we were just a normal couple doing our commute to work whilst dreaming of and planning this massive trip. And as her diligent husband, I was going to step up and attempt to be her logistics manager.
2 months to go. Yeah, what you were just saying was good.
What was I saying?
The stuff we've got planned. I'm meant to be the logistics manager and you're like managing it all.
My main job was basically driving and following Lucy around in the support van. At the same time, trying my best at being a first-time filmmaker, Lucy's cook, cleaner,
I didn't run 60k.
counsellor, masseuse, first aider, and occasionally running with her.
The van definitely smells like it's overheated or something. I don't know where we are, to be honest with you. It's too late, too tired.
Bugger. A lot to take on, lot to take in, lot to think about, sorry.
Yeah.
Despite the fact Lucy had an amateur logistics manager, this trip she had planned for 2 years was going ahead whether things were organised or not.
I just feel like I get worried that maybe I'm missing something massive.
I tell people that Lucy is running the entire length of New Zealand.
I thought she was running the road, but she's running through the
She's
trail.
doing the TA trail.
Oh, right. Oh, she's doing the Te Araroa trail.
The TA Trail, also known as the Long Pathway, runs from the very top of New Zealand's North Island to the bottom of the South Island.
Well, the aim is to do it in 70 days.
The aim is to do it as fastest woman, whatever that might be.
It's just over 3,000 kilometres long, and she's going to have to run an average of over a marathon a day for 70 days. And the elevation is basically climbing Mount Everest 9 times.
And she's doing it day after day after day until she gets to the end.
And because most of it is off-road, she's going to have to face all types of terrain and challenges.
And a shitload of rain and not enough coffee.
The rivers can change quite dramatically.
Well, if you get to the South Island, anything can bloody happen. I've known it to snow at bloody Christmas down there, mate.
That's going to be hard for anybody, you know, varying terrain and gravel and mountain.
Adjusting from north to going south in the mountains is probably going to be a bit of a challenge.
Lucy's going to have a nice run through the forest.
We were just talking about hypothermia with the weather, New Zealand's top killer.
The long stretches on beaches.
There's a lot of strong river crossings down south.
A bit of a hop through some farmland.
Had a few close calls with trucks.
I think Lucy's biggest challenge will be enjoying it. And I've mentioned it to her, don't focus on the deadlines, just enjoy the amazing scenery you'll be travelling through.
She'll probably do it in 3 months.
I don't think people can generally get their head around
No.
it. I don't think people really understand.
They're like, what? Why would anyone want to do that?
Has anybody asked you why?
Lots of people have asked me why. I think people think, I'm a little bit crazy, and I probably am. I found out about this trail about 3 years ago, and I became fascinated about it. And a handful of people had run the trail, and I thought, I want to be one of those handful of people. I found out what the record was for a female, and then I sort of set my sights on that. And once I decided I wanted to do it, it took a grip of me, and a couple of years later, here I am sitting in.
If running the length of a country wasn't already hard enough, Lucy was aiming to set the fastest known time for a female.
Go go!
She basically wanted to be the fastest woman ever from the start to the end. She was doing a supported FKT, which meant she'd be allowed a support van and allowed to support runners, but it had to be completely self-powered the entire time. In my head, I imagine my role would involve driving through a lot of beautiful scenery, having some fun with the camera, and following a fairly simple daily routine. Making coffee every morning, meeting Lucy at various checkpoints, finding a camp spot each night, and then cooking dinner, ready to repeat all over again the next day. But as we got closer to the trip, I started to think about how I would go keeping on top of organising all of her gear. What if I got lost and missed her at a checkpoint? And how would I go on my own for hours and hours waiting around for her in the van? Waiting at this meet point sometimes can be a little bit I don't know, stressy.
Looking after Lucy every day on the trails is going to be harder than he realises, and I think that keeping a smile on his face is going to be just as important as keeping a smile on her face.
Yeah, got our fingers crossed it's going to be good.
And before you knew it, after 2 years of planning, we were heading to the airport, boarding a plane to New Zealand, and just hoping we hadn't forgotten anything.
It's a video.
Shortly after landing, we headed to Cape Reinga, the very top of the North Island, as Lucy was preparing to run to the bottom of the country as quick as possible.
It is the morning of my first day. I just got really anxious and nervous. But then Tommy keeps telling me, we're just going for a run today.
I don't say it in that voice. I say it in a very
Yeah,
normal,
true.
sensible.
We're just going for a run today.
When Lucy got out the van at the very start, I knew she was feeling stressed. And to be honest, I'm not sure either of us felt we were really ready.
Sorry, I didn't record. Sorry, do that again. Sorry. 3, 2, 1, go!
Once she got going though, I think she relaxed.
Trail look good?
Yeah, I was just taking the direction.
Well, for about 10 minutes, until it started to rain, and then she was late to the tide crossing with water dangerously crashing over the rocks, which meant she had to go back on herself, climb up and over the cliff path. Then I watched her run down the beach on her own for the first time with tears coming down her face. Not how she'd hoped the trip would start. Yeah, my first day wasn't quite as I hoped either. It's halfway through day one and I'd failed my very first logistics plan with 70 days still to go. Well, I've not got lost, but the long and the short of it is that the road's closed. I'm going to take a bit of a risk and go the long way round. This meant Lucy had to run 50 k's up the beach on her own on day one without seeing me for food and support. I ended up just driving straight to the end point, and a kind lady drove me back up the beach in her 4x4 as far as she could for me to try and find Lucy. I'm now just jogging to meet Lucy, and because she's probably starving, she's just run about 50k and I've got her lunch. And then I ran back with Lucy into a terrible headwind.
70k, day one.
Oh God.
At this moment, I realised just how much of a challenge Lucy was taking on. She was already in a fair amount of pain, and I was thinking, how on earth would she get on tomorrow, let alone another 60 odd days?
Because I foolishly have not sat down all day.
11
Lesson
hours.
1, sit down, have little breaks. Lesson 2, take more food with you in case Tommy can't get to the checkpoint.
Day 2.
Yeah. I just gotta get through this beach. This beach is mind-numbing, soul-destroying. Had a little teary earlier.
She's just headed out for another, I think it's 50 odd k today. It's just finishing now.
That's pretty sore. Oh, my stomach. I know I shouldn't be wasting energy on this, but
just on day 3 of the trip, and where are we?
Good luck to
Cool.
Lucy.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Yesterday's beautiful sunshine, and then overnight we have this.
Oh God. Now I've got chafe in my bum cheeks.
Lucy's done. Day 4, 223k. Fair effort.
Okay.
You've got this, remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Day 6. Bit of a bugger really, because Lucy's got her anxiety back again. I think she just feels like a bit lonely out there. I think in the build-up, there's always been me and her day to day, working from home together, doing everything together, so to speak. I mean, she runs on her own all the time, but plans on her own, so she doesn't involve me at all, actually. But so she's very much like a independent person. But I just think it's just suddenly tough just being out there. And she's in her head a lot.
It's 5 a.m. and we're just driving around a point to get to the other side because I have to start really early to beat the tides.
So what's today going to be like?
Today's going to be a good day, I hope.
Why did your day not go to plan?
Couldn't cross one of the estuaries. I tried, but it's halfway between high and low tide, so I had to abort. So then I had to run the long way around. It took ages.
We've got 10 seconds left to talk about anything else of the morning.
I have to run 17 k's along the beach. Like, it looks like, it's like, look at that. Bong, bong. No. Can only do one side. Brussels sprout.
At this point, I could see Lucy was starting to have a bit more fun, but she still had so much further to go, and I could see that her body was feeling it. Hello, Lucy?
Hello.
Talk to me.
I need to go to the toilet. I'm sorry.
Lucy's been on her feet for well over 10 hours now. I almost just had a heart attack. Lucy just grabbed onto that thing, which avoided her falling down there. End of day 9.
The first week was really hard. It was harder than I expected. I was incredibly overwhelmed by everything.
Let's hope it's not like this in the morning.
And I was really worried about failing.
I guess the most scary thing is not being able to do it.
And people have said to me that I can.
But what if I can't?
I was also by myself a lot.
It gets lonely. That's the main thing.
I was just a normal goofy kid growing up. I loved sport and I participated in pretty much everything. I used to ride my bike a lot. I did a triathlon once. I played touch footy. I used to always run during school, but it wasn't until my mid-20s that I got a bit more serious and did a marathon.
And how did you find doing a marathon?
My first marathon was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life.
Why was it so hard?
It was so hard because we were running a marathon. And I swore I would never ever do another one again. The constant focus on pace, I found it a bit stressful. So I decided to switch to trail running. I just loved being out in nature and subsequently the mountains. The thing that got me really excited about this run was
Travelling the length of the country just by the power of my own legs, I think that that is just a really cool thing to achieve. My biggest fear for the run was really the river crossings. When you do your research, that's the one thing that everyone writes about being the hardest and the scariest part of doing the TA. I heard a story about an experienced hiker getting swept down, stranded on a rock for 4 days, and here I am, way less experienced, by myself, going to tackle these, having never crossed a river before in my life. I was completely petrified. By this stage, I was just outside Auckland and I had run about 500 Ks, and I was still on target for 70 days.
Today was a really good day. I was joined by Stu in the morning, then ran along the coast, met a lovely couple who I talked to for about half an hour.
I was starting to enjoy myself. I was able to eat more.
My body felt a lot better. And I ate an entire block of chocolate last night.
We saw some family friends when we were in Auckland and had a home-cooked meal. I was also looking forward to some friends coming out to run with me. I had a spring in my step and the next few weeks just seemed to fly by.
Thank you so much.
Day 17.
Or is it 16?
17.
Here I go.
Mary, what's your biggest bit of advice for Lucy to run the length of the country?
One foot in front of the other.
Yes. So true.
Taken wrong turn, which means an extra hour for today. Oh well. Lovely workman chatted to me and I said, oh my god, it's so hot, I'm so thirsty. He's like, oh yeah, the shop's start, and I was like, oh my god, oh well. Kept going on anyway, he drove up the road, gave me this. Just hit 1,000 Ks!
Day 18.
I'm going to the long drop toilet, which stinks.
Day 19. Our mate Kaz from back home has arrived. She's here for about 5 days, which is great. She's real good fun. Dropped her and Lucy off this morning at the trailhead, to yakking away in the back. And I must admit, not paying attention at the checklist routine, which is fine. I'll allow them that today and then have a discussion this evening over the dinner table about future protocol.
Thank you.
Day 27. Love you. Drive safe.
Will do.
See you, Piggy.
Here with local Wendy. What are we doing?
Alright, so we're trying to get to the river mouth so that we can help Lucy get across. Pretty much.
And what's this giant stick you've got?
So we can check that the river's not too deep.
Wendy just told me she hates crossing water, yet she's driven an hour from home to come and help Lucy cross water. What a legend.
Day 28.
And who's this?
Ezaroo.
Faster, Erin.
She set a cracking pace.
Slower than Erin.
Lucy can't keep up.
It's day 29. We're in Palmerston North.
Right, on your marks. Get set. Go. 50k.
It's day 29.
Hey, I'm Julia. I'm Lucy's sister. We are on the trail in New Zealand. She doesn't know that I'm here. She's somewhere up ahead and I can't wait to surprise her.
How you going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, how you going? Oh my god! It's like what? More excitement. Julia, what are you doing? Oh my god! Seems like it's been really tough, up and down. Some days that she's absolutely loved and other days I think seem like being really mentally exhausting.
And how do you think she'll fare?
Oh, I think she's going to achieve it.
because she's so mentally tough, and I think the scenery is going to be incredible, and she's got some great people to run with.
It was so easy.
Tommy and I are going out 2 nights in huts.
Almost 4 o'clock. We just saw a guy that said the hut is probably about 8-hour hike. So he kind of grimaced a little bit when we said we don't have a tent, and because he suggested we stop in the next hour or so at a campsite, but we don't have a tent. So
8:49. Took a wrong turn. Bloody hell.
2-hour wrong turn. 1.8 k, so that could be however long.
So it's 9:48. We've got, according to the sign, another 2 hours to go. Just been walking through mud puddles in the dark. Fucking over it.
We had issues last night with directions. We got lost for 2 hours. We're gonna just probably die. Lucy was slipping everywhere. That's all I thought she'd stopped and injured herself.
Yep, it's coming. Didn't hurt anything. Just slipped.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Just wrecked. Didn't sleep very well. A little bit tired.
I'm not going to be able to do it. I think it's just being tired.
These last 2 days have been very achievable.
Yeah.
South Island's going to be the same. It's just a different terrain.
Yeah. Day 33, I think. A bit tired and flat.
Well done.
Oh, thanks.
How are you feeling after a windy 60k?
Battered.
What a day.
Even though I was nervous about the South Island, I finished the North Island on a high. I had been running with friends, and then I had the pleasure of meeting Mina. She was the first woman to ever run the TA trail and set the FKT. And she actually welcomed me into her house when we got to Wellington. She ran the trail with me. And it was just an amazing experience because I had looked up to her for a long time. And ultimately I was trying to break her record, yet she was willing to help me, which is just reflective of her and also what the trail running community is like. On the ferry over, I was incredibly anxious and stressed out. I kept going over and over my plans and was second guessing whether my schedule was realistic, and I was worried about what was going to happen.
Start of the South Island. How are you feeling?
Feeling quite anxious today. I think I'm just freaked myself out about the South Island. I want to curl up in a ball.
I was so excited about Nikki and Matt coming over to run with me. I couldn't wait to see them, and it gave me a little bit of relief knowing they were going to be with me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you guys.
It's day 36. Nikki's here. This makes me happy. We're going to run the second half of the Queen Charlotte track.
Day 37! Woo, woo!
I just get overwhelmed. Like I said to Nikki, I'm thinking too much about when I'm going to be by myself already.
I have to suffer through 8 days of us first.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to be looking forward to it.
Day 38, the morning of. Lucy and Nikki and Matt, our friends, have just gone into the Richmond Ranges, the backcountry huts. Been really bad weather. We had a rest day yesterday because the weather warnings, there's lots of flooding where we camp. Quite eye-opening to see it all, how it kind of quickly happens.
The hardest part of the Richmond Ranges this afternoon.
So that wasn't the hardest part of the Ranges?
Apparently not.
And I've been from the poo, and everything's good.
It's good. Matt's a little bit lighter. He's going to go up these next hills very fast.
You got 10k left of this section.
We're so freaking tired. It's been a long couple of days. This is not what I signed up for. Particularly not 9 o'clock at night. Have you had this up? Really tough. Oh, that's amazing.
Looking forward to a little bit of Christmas.
At this point, I was at Nelson Lakes and was 2/3 of the way through. Technically, I had completed the hardest section of the TA, but suddenly I was faced with being on my own again.
Tomorrow is Boxing Day, and I have to go out and be in huts by myself for 2 nights, and I'm just getting a bit stressed out about river crossings. I've had the pleasure of having Nikki and Matt with me for 10 days, and I guess it's just a little nerve-wracking suddenly having to go out on your own. Yeah, I just have visions of myself getting swept down by a river. It's stressful. All these silly things that rattle around in my brain. It's scary.
She's had to contend with a number of the river crossings, and we had some flooding about a week or so ago, which was, wrote off a lot of people going to be able to do them, and a lot of people pulled out. Yeah, it's playing on her mind, and it's like 2/3 of the way through by kilometres now, and it just feels somewhat close, but somewhat still so far away, and
You'll be good. It's okay.
so much more pressure than you ever imagined on her mentally.
Lucy just she just went off into Hope Kiwi track, so she'll be gone for 3 days. So she'll be staying in huts for 2 nights on her own. It's really tough to see her so upset, but she'll be good. It's just new, isn't it, doing it on your own? She's very emotional now. It's like the tiredness is really kicking in with like a few weeks left. Yeah.
So I've just arrived at Lock Stream Hut. Trying to decide whether I stay here or if I push on to try and do Morrison Bridge and the river crossings. It's just started to rain, which means I guess rivers will start going up tomorrow, but a little bit, maybe hopefully not too much. I don't know. It's hard to decide what to do.
Meeting her tomorrow, very excited to see her. Missed her a lot, actually, and it's just weird to not have signal together and message each other, and now I'm in a no signal zone, so what if something's happened or she's messaged me, but yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
So I've just got back to the van after 2 nights out, and Tom's not here, and I'm guessing he probably ran out to try and meet me on the track, but I came in the riverbed, so not on the track, and I went back out another half an hour along the track to see if I could run into him, but I couldn't, and it just got a bit hilly and I was tired, so now I'm backtracked to the van, so it's been an hour since we've been here. And I just, I'm really tired. I'm emotional after 3 days away and river crossings. And I just want to give a hug. That's all.
It was really hard to see her like this when I got back to the van. At this stage, she was just so physically and emotionally drained. And then she had to head off into the mountains again for a few days by herself.
I think it's day 49.
And how are you feeling?
I'm just getting tired of running day after day. There's still so far to go.
And that's when her worst nightmare came true.
I'm just sitting here having a little moment.
The river was running fast due to heavy rain, and as I went to cross, I just slipped, and suddenly I was completely underwater.
I just lost my footing and fell in the river. Thank God I was able to just like shove my poles in and kind of clamber to a rocky bit in the middle, but it's just given me a bit of a shock, and I've just got a couple more to go, so I think the river is running a bit faster than normal because of the rain, so I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes and then I'll get going again.
I mean, it was incredibly scary and probably the scariest moment of my life, but it also made me realise I'd faced my biggest fears and I was okay. I'm stronger than I think I am, and I can do this. I can finish this. Now there was only a couple of weeks to go, and while I was really freaking tired, I was really excited to finish what I'd started. I was still on target for the FKT. But I guess my thinking started to shift in that the important thing wasn't so much about getting the record, it was just about finishing it and enjoying the experience. And I had a few more friends joining me for the end. This way.
It's been amazing South Island, but gee, almost 70 days of this. I've been running with Lucy on and off for the last 7 days or so.
Trying to make sure she doesn't go too fast. She's a bit fast for me.
And I've got blisters all over my feet, and I don't know how she's done it. It's good. Been a good trip.
I need to go to the toilet. I'm busting.
Last day.
I gotta go to the toilet.
Last day. Give us a last day bum wiggle, Tom. No, that's a first day bum wiggle. That's the one.
Woohoo! Go, Lucy!
You brought your stunt double in.
I did. She's gonna run a few Ks for me.
I think the biggest factors to helping me achieve this was just the support I had from everyone. I don't think you can do this sort of thing without that. And it also wouldn't be anywhere near as fun.
How's it taste, Luce? Yeah!
Bit hot.
Sure.
So to pack tomorrow. Need to pack cheese and salami wraps, jar of peanut butter and extra wraps, chocolate. I do love my rice bubbles and cream combo.
How's your life?
Life's good. It's a bit hot though. These chips are good.